Hi, I'm Lindsay Pullins at Circana. I'm here with Jon Gibs from Walmart Connect. Jon, thanks for coming today.
No problem, Lindsay. I'm happy to be here. It's a lot of fun.
All right, so let's just jump right into some fun questions. Retail media has scaled incredibly fast,
Yeah.
but the conversation is shifting from growth to credibility.
hmm
What has to happen next?
Well, for us to be truly credible outside of the growth that we've seen, there are a couple of different areas, particularly within measurement, that we really need to be able to focus on. The first is to make sure that we have good, strong methodologies that cut across multiple different companies, and we have a lot of cross comparability across our metrics. The next is really being able to understand that we can lean in with different types of incrementality. Incrementality is so key to be able to understand the benefits of the media itself, not just transaction, not just conversion, but how much better is the media doing than what would have happened otherwise. And the last is really understanding how we can start getting the special metrics, the special analysis, the special data that's such a key part of retail media into the buying ecosystem in an effective way for buyers and media organizations to really be able to transact on it.
I love that. Incrementality is so important in the industry and really showcasing the true incremental value that Walmart is providing to brands. All right, so how has Circana's partnership changed the way you're able to answer what is truly incremental?
Well, one of the things that we love about our partnership with Circana is the ability to be able to understand how our results work in context. So we know that we're a performant platform. We know we do extremely, extremely well for our advertisers. We know we have great performance, but we're really not able to see off platform in an effective way. What our partnership with Circana really allows us to be able to do is to be able to contextualize our results versus other platforms, other retail partners, and really be able to understand where the efficacy lies. It also helps us give advice back to our partners, our advertisers, about how they should think about optimizing their media mix across multiple different touch points to really have the most effective media footprint they possibly can. Sometimes that means working with different partners. Sometimes that means using Walmart Connect's data off platform in other different types of ways.
I love that. I love that. That's so important. So, as commerce media budgets continue to grow,
Yeah.
what role should measurement play in helping marketers understand not just where to invest, but what actually drives effective marketing?
Well, there's a couple of different areas. The first is that we should start thinking a little bit less about channels and a little bit more about outcomes. Right now, we have a number of different ways in which something can be bought, a number of different channels that retail media can be activated across. And that's great. It's important to have a broad multi-channel approach. But being able to really focus on what the optimal outcome is and having your buying strategy follow that based on the measurement from that outcome is really, really important. The second, and this is critical, is that measurement historically has been forward looking. We've used it as a way to look back, as a way to know, did that campaign perform? Did that audience perform? Did that creative perform? We're very big believers that measurement is really about looking forward, right? It's about how can you use the results from past campaigns to educate future efficacy and to make sure that you have the most effective media footprint you possibly can, and that you make the decisions based on past successes that can really help you get there.
I love that. It's almost like you guys are engineering decisions that are happening.
Well, engineering is a great way of putting it. I mean, I think one of the things that we would like to think that we're doing is we're providing the data back to the market.
Yeah.
That is really what can help the suppliers make the best decisions they possibly can. And this is the truest data they can get, right? True sales, true media impressions in store, online, etc. Being able to understand that is really sort of how efficacy is made.
Yeah. I love it. So how does creative play into that? Audience, media mix, how does that work?
Well, we are here. We're in Cannes. We're all about creative
Yeah.
while we're here. So measurement is great. Measurement is very important, obviously. But one of the things that measurement can help us do is understand how a specific audience will interact with a specific creative in a specific environment. We know context is key, right? And we know audience is key, and we know scale is key. But one of the things we've heard again and again over the years is that creative makes up an enormous part of actual ad effectiveness, right? What the person actually sees is a huge part. It's not just the environment, it's not just the audience, it does the creative work. And so really being able to have a data-driven approach to having the most effective creative is really important. And to be able to dynamically update that creative according to changing audience desires, changing channels, changing audience needs is really how you make the creative approach really align with your audience approach and your measurement approach in the long run.
I love it. All right. So, why do cross retailer and cross channel effects matter?
Why? Well, why wouldn't they matter? I guess is it better? Is another faster way of putting it? Uh, a media plan is cross channel by definition. Media footprint is cross channel by definition, and the same user will see a similar creative in multiple different points. They will be exposed within Walmart across multiple different channels, but also within our partners, et cetera. And so what's really important is understanding how that media footprint in aggregate is making an impact on the user and their journey overall through all the different touch points they have. Now, being able for us, obviously, to be able to focus on sort of how that looks for a Walmart customer within the Walmart ecosystem is really, really important. But being able to then say, here's how an ad campaign working on linear TV, for example, adds to our CTV campaign, which adds to our search, helps build that broader view that will allow really the most effective media to play out.
I I couldn't agree more. It's important to understand the consumer journey,
Yeah.
and being able to measure it across channel and cross read is incredible. What will successful marketers focus on differently in 2027?
Well, I think there's a couple of areas of focus. The first is going back to this idea of focusing on the outcome, not the channel, right? Multi-channel is obviously key. Being able to invest across multiple touch points across the user journey is obviously important. But the decisions around what channels to use shouldn't be decided upon because CTV is cool or social is important or this, that, or the other thing. It should be really what are the effects that the advertiser is looking for, and then how does that media footprint then follow based on the results, the historic results, and any type of future leaning results. So that's area one. Area two is really leaning into effective creative that goes across platforms, right? Understanding how CTV creative will ultimately drive somebody further down the funnel, and how further down the funnel that will drive somebody to a search action, let's say on Walmart.com, which will then drive them to a PDP page. Now, if somebody's going to be able to be driven down that user journey, there is a common CTA and a common creative messaging that's needed to move somebody through that channel. And so smarter marketers are going to be able to focus on that with looking at that key KPI at the end that really sort of drives them through it. And then the last part is beginning to understand really the value of retail media specifically as an upper funnel activate point of activation. Uh, New to brand customers are the most important thing in the world right now. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Can we all agree on that? New to brand, so important, right?
So important.
So important. Now, the best way to find new to brand is obviously through retail data. You know if somebody's never shopped before. And so being able to really target your reach activities in such a way that you're primarily reaching out to those folks that are new to your brand. And that way you can have the highest possible upper funnel ROI, and then the highest possible lower funnel incrementality throughout the entire process.
I love that upper funnel ROI, and then the lower funnel. I love incrementality. I think that rings so true as people are trying to figure out how outcomes play across the funnel, and it's awesome. Walmart Connect certainly can measure from upper funnel all the way down to lower funnel.
Well, one of my favorite analyses, one of my favorite pieces of analytics that we do right now is we take a look at the impact of CTV on site search. And that helps us understand so many different things about the efficacy of CTV. It one helps us understand things like awareness, right? Is somebody actually searching for the brand after seeing the ad? It's also a point of activation. And so it allows the advertiser to then lean in at that point where you're reaffirming the brand itself and drive them further into the funnel. So that type of process, connecting the dots in that type of way, is ultimately, what the smart marketers are doing.
Yeah. I love that. I think it's so incredibly important, and it's great that you guys have that data to be able to tell that full story for marketers.
As a measurement guy, it is a playground that I operate inside of.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Of course.